Okay. Hopefully this works. That'd be great. I've actually never done one from my phone for like YouTube Live. If you aren't aware, Instagram was high-key messing up and wasn't letting me do this at all. So yeah. And if you're watching this back in the future, actually I'm probably only going to make this video accessible to patrons after it's recorded. So once it's no longer live, just for like ease and because it's going to probably be weird, because I'm shooting it in portrait, not landscape. So it's probably going to show up on the actual, like on a computer or something. Just not pretty. So we'll see. We'll see. If it works out, then it works out. We'll see. Hi guys. Hi, hello, how are you? I've been watching a lot of Smokey Glow because that was kind of a Smokey Glow intro. Hello! I just love her. Yeah, I decided to do my makeup and talk to you guys because I haven't done this in a while. And, you know, I feel like a lot of us are feeling like social deprivation maybe. I don't know. I'm an ambivert, so I can kind of go either way. But, you know, I think now's a good time. I mean, do this for a while and just haven't had like the time to sit down and do one because I've been filming like a lot in like one go. So it's like I don't have time to sit here and like do an Instagram live necessarily, but I do now. Well, now it's a YouTube live, but yeah. Am I still deciding what to do with my hair? Yeah, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you might not know that I'm having a breakdown about if I should grow my hair out or not. I think what I decided, because I was like, I don't know the root of like why I have this compulsion to like grow my hair out all of a sudden because I really like, well, it's not even a compulsion to grow my hair out because I don't really feel compelled. Like I don't want to, but I'm like, should I? Because I've been following a lot more like curly hair accounts on Instagram and they all have like long hair and whatever. So I didn't love my long hair. Like I liked it fine when I had it before I knew that I could have it short, if that makes any sense. So I never pictured myself with short hair. So yeah, but I think, not to get super rambly, I think what the problem is, or not the problem, but like I think what might help is this, like the side and the back is like pretty short. I want to look feminine to androgynous at all times. I don't actually want to look like fully masculine. I don't identify as like masculine, but I like androgyny. So, I think from this side, if I don't have a ton of makeup on, I can look like a boy, and I don't want to. Like I don't want to look like a boy. I want to look like I'm not sure to that's a woman. You know, like so that's the spectrum I want to be on for like how I present to the world. So I think when this gets super short, and especially because my hairdresser that I went to this time cut my sideburns in a way that is like masculine, and usually I have them wispy. This is all very technical for people that don't have short hair and they're like, why is this important? But it is. I think this is making it feel too masculine. So my compulsion to grow my hair out is less, like I don't want to actually look super feminine either. Like I've never been like a super femme person. Thank you. I do think I look like a girl too, but I think from this side when I don't have makeup on, if I'm going out in just a hoodie, people can think that I look like a boy, and that's fine, but I don't want to. So I'm gonna try to grow this out a bit more so it has more like volume, sort of. I have pictures on Instagram, not Instagram, on Pinterest that I found, so that this has more, it's less short on the side, which is funny because when I first got it, I always wanted it like super short, and now I just want a little bit longer. And then if I decide that I do want to grow my hair out, this side's already longer, so it will be easier to start the growing hair out process. That's what so what if you grow out one side and then cut the other side shaved? So I was thinking about that. If I do decide to grow my hair out fully, what I'm gonna do in this, like the stage, is grow this part out first so it's hidden. And then when this gets all the same length, flip my part and grow this side out. And then it will be less of like an awkward, you know, situation. So yeah, but I'm hoping that just making this longer on this side, still not long, like I still want like my ear cut out and whatever, but this just being like generally longer, that might solve the problem. And I was actually talking to my therapist about it, just because we ran out of stuff to talk about after we talked about the pandemic. So after that, she was like, why don't you like, maybe you just want to change and not actually to grow your hair out, because I don't actually love taking care of long hair. So she's like, why don't you add some other things to it? So we talked about that. It was something that we discussed. So just to let you guys know that your chat stuff comes up really quickly for me. So if I miss something, feel free to retype it, because if I'm talking and I miss something, I just might. Is there actually a way? There. Okay. I actually made all chat visible, which is helpful. Have you dyed your hair? I have not dyed my hair. There's something about the lighting and then this new phone, because I got the iPhone 11 Max. Is that what I got? That changes the lighting around a bit. And I almost want to take it into the store and be like, is this how it should be? I don't understand. But I haven't done that because I don't particularly want to. So, and I also just don't want to go anywhere in public right now. You know, no big deal. No big deal. Yeah, so I'm gonna do. I want to read a good post-apocalyptic book during this quarantine. Do you? My favorite. I wouldn't recommend people with anxiety to read. Yeah, someone just said Station 11. I've been thinking about Station 11 a lot lately, and I'm like, oh fuck. So if you don't want that experience, then don't. But yeah, Station 11 is a very good pandemic apocalypse book. And it has flashbacks to when the apocalypse is happening, like, well, when the like pandemic is happening, which is a flu in that book. But I would not, if you don't want to think about it. Yeah, agreed. If Tom Hanks, I've talked to people, if Tom Hanks goes, we're in the dark apocalypse timeline, and just like let that be known, you know. Yeah, definitely. I recommend not reading apocalypse books right now. Someone asked me about Chain of Gold. It's going well. I love Chain of Gold in a way, because like what's so great about Cassie Clare's few books that I've read, because I've only read The Infernal Devices, and I'm only ever going to read like The Infernal Devices in like this series. I guess unless she has a series after this one, like I'm only going to read her historical stuff. Anyway, it's just so fluffy. Like there's 12 characters, they all love each other, like, and there's like, I mean, I'm only like 60 pages in, but like, you know, the stuff that's happening is like, it's all focused on the relationships right now, and that's all I really want, man. Like, I go into her books with like sort of low expectations, kind of, because I'm like, I just want it for this, and the plots don't matter, because I feel like her plots are like so weak, but she does like really good like character interactions. Someone asked why I'm not going to read any Cassie Clare books. Any other Cassie Clare books. I have no interest in the rest of them, and like every time I bring up that I'm reading The Last Hours, or when I was reading The Infernal Devices, people were like, you know, you should read The Moral Instruments, or you should read The Dark Artifices, and I don't want to, man. Like, I don't care. I only really love the historical stuff from her. I don't want to read modern stuff with all of this, like, trashy romance, you know. And I say trashy in, like, the best way, because I really like her trashy romance. But I don't want to do that with modern. If I'm going to do that, I would rather just, like, read a contemporary romance, and not a Shadowhunters book. Because I don't tend to, like, love a lot of YA right now anyway. But I do like it in her, like, historical YA fantasy stuff. Like, yeah, but I don't want to read any of her new stuff. I just don't care enough. Like, I care just enough for the historical stuff that I'm, like, interested in, you know? Someone asked if I'm going to read the new Sarah J. Maas. I'm not sure. We were originally going to read it for House Salt, and then a bunch of us were like, I don't know. Like, I read the synopsis, and I was like, depending on how my anxiety goes, like, I could kind of go either way with this. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to read it or not. I mean, I think I'll kind of see what other people think of it. I don't know. I'm not super intrigued about it. Like, there's other fantasy I want to read. So I'm not, like, super drawn to it. But I'm not saying I won't read it. We'll see. We will. It's something that I can see myself reading, like, way after the hype is done. Like, I don't see myself reading it right now. I can see myself reading it in like months. I mean, like with The Infernal Devices, someone asked if you can read it as a standalone series. You totally can. With The Infernal Devices, I read it in like 2017, and I feel like those books came out in like 2013, 2014, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm totally fine with like reading stuff like way after the hype is gone. Someone asked about rereading Furyborn. It's going well. I'm actually like really enjoying rereading it on audio. I've gotten to a point where I'm like really invested again in it. And I'm glad I did this because there's so much stuff that I forgot about what happened, and I want to definitely be like in it when I read Lightbringer's the last book. What's the second book? I don't remember. Is your personal life getting affected due to coronavirus? I'm basically just like not leaving my house, which I didn't have like a crazy schedule anyway before. But I'm basically just not leaving my house. But my parents still are. I'm pretty sure my dad was going around like reading in coffee shops and like licking doorknobs for a while there. And I'm just like, Dad. Like my parents are both in the over 60 more susceptible age group. My dad's in his 80s. So they're sitting here like, you just gotta take it on the chin. And I'm like, that's not how pandemics work. You're not fighting anything, you know, like you're not fighting like a person. You're not standing up to a bully. It's a disease. So I'm just sitting here like my ass is social distancing and like quarantining myself. And they're not. So like my mom went to church yesterday and I like yelled at her after. I was like, I don't think God's gonna like be mad at you if you pray at home. Cause like the whole point of prayer is that you can do it anywhere. Like I just, it's fine. It's not like this has been a constant fight for like a week. Again, we're not like fighting, but like I've been like, you're being dumb. You're being dumb. I don't understand why you're being dumb. So I'm hoping that my mom's church cancels services. I told her like this week you really should just like not be exposed. But yeah. Oh, there's so many messages that are coming through at once. Sorry, I'm overwhelmed. Oh, there's so much. But yeah, the thing is that I think annoys me the most is that like we obviously have the potential to like be social like this, or you know, run church services like virtually, or work from home for most people. So I'm kind of like, why aren't you taking the steps? Like I think what really annoys me is I'm like, okay, even if this is overblown, which is not, why not just be safe for like a couple of weeks? Like if you think it's overblown and you think it's going to be over in a couple of weeks, which I don't believe, but whatever, then why not just do the stuff for like a couple of weeks? Like, is it really going to affect your life so much? And I'm not talking about people with mental health that like need to be around people. Like this is a separate conversation. For like my parents who don't have that need, is it really going to impact you so much to just not do some of these things? Like, don't go get your hair done right now. Is it going to matter? A couple weeks of growth? Probably not. Like, don't go to church right now because God's going to understand. You know, like, I just, oh, yeah, like, why fight it? Like, why fight it? How long do you think this is going to last? I think I'm hunkering down for a possibility, a realistic possibility of 6 to 8 weeks, I think, of like needing to do the social distancing, things being closed, whatever. I would love if it was less than that. I don't think it's like, I'm for sure it's not going to be over in 2 weeks. Absolutely not, because people are still getting sick, they're carriers, they're asymptomatic, whatever. It's like, so the people that are like, oh, it's only gonna be a couple of weeks and then things are gonna be open. I'm like, no, it's gonna be a couple of weeks and then they're gonna reevaluate the situation. So it's gonna be longer. Like, yeah. So at least like for big gatherings, it's absolutely gonna be over 8 weeks. Like the CDC was saying. I'm saying like if you want to go meet up with like a couple of like friends that are also have like social distanced, like it's so complicated because you basically like everyone has to social distance and be serious about it. And then if that does happen, and you can guarantee that happens after like 3 to 4 weeks, I would say, because over 10 days when people start showing symptoms, then you can be like, okay, so these two friends who live together have not seen anyone else either, guaranteed. So we could maybe hang out. Like it would have to be like the lowest, because I read an article about this, which is why I'm using this like exact thing. So yeah, it's gonna be like months before you can have big gatherings, like months. But even just like the little interactions could happen in situations where people are like quarantining and isolating themselves after like 3 weeks ish. As long as things stay the same as they have right now, because we're still learning stuff about it, like, so yeah. But in order for that to happen, people have to take it seriously, like now, and like hunker down. And again, like I think it's like all the countries have been like this, but especially with America, people are just like in denial. So it's like you have to basically close everything down like Italy did and be like, y'all fucking can't. like y'all can't, because y'all act a fool. Like if you're given permission, because I was driving to the pet store to pick up a bone like the beginning of the week, because I was like, I'll go to this one place to get this thing. There probably aren't gonna be a lot of people there, blah blah blah. That's the only, like, I've done that, and I went to the grocery store, and like that's it. And I go during like non-peak times. Now I'm like basically staying inside unless it's an emergency. Well, staying or not around people, because I still think taking walks and stuff is good. So, and there are people like fucking filling up the Chili's. All these bars were packed. I'm like, okay, so apparently it's time to close everything down, because you guys can't get it together. Can't get it together. Yeah, I mean, America's not testing at the rate. Like, it's just, I feel like America's gonna explode, honestly, like, not to be, like, dramatic, because I'm sure, like, so I read an article that was like, there's probably at least 100,000 cases right now that we just don't know about because people aren't being tested. People are walking around with milder cases. People are walking around asymptomatic, or people have, like, horrible cases and are not being hospitalized because it's not quite hospitalized level. Like, there probably are, like, 100,000 cases. So this whole, like, oh, there's only so many, I was like, that's what we know. Like, So, yeah, not to be, again, like, I don't want to be an alarmist, but I actually don't think I'm being an alarmist. Like, this is how diseases work. Like, this is how pandemics work. Like, yeah, whatever. So, basically the government needs to shut stuff down because people aren't gonna fucking listen. And it's really not helpful in America when we have a president who, like, a couple weeks ago was like, this is fake. I'm like, oh, bitch, is it? Is the Girl of Fire and Thorns similar to the Winter Night? Not really. Girl of Fire and Thorns is more, like, Spanish, Latin American, because it's kind of a mix of both, based. Like, everyone is more Latinx in that, and it's much more, like, based in that. And there's not really, like, folklore associated with it. Like, there's not, like, creatures and stuff the way that there is in Winter Night. So I wouldn't say it's very similar. I still really like it, but it's just not very similar. Can you discuss something else besides the virus? I mean, I can, but if people are asking me a ton of questions about the virus, I'm probably going to respond to them. So if you don't want to hear about it, like, then maybe don't be around. I don't know. Like, I don't want to necessarily sit here and discuss it either, but, like, I don't know, man. Like, a pandemic is pretty much, you know, dominating people's lives. So, like, I'm also very cool with not talking about it, but if people have questions, I'm going to answer them. Yeah, like right now I'm trying to not talk about it to just to see if that person, like, to help people that don't want to talk about it, and the whole chat is talking about it. So, like, I don't really know what y'all want me to do. Recommend a random book. You know what, y'all? Okay, I'll go on a tangent about that. When people so we were just at a friend's our friend group was just at a friend's wedding, Connor O'Brien's wedding, and people found out that we do book stuff, and they would be like, recommend me a book then, and we're all like, that's literally impossible to do. Like, because it's just like, we'd be like, what do you read? And they'd be like, something random. And we'd be like, we're not like trained monkeys. Like, we can't, that it's sort of like when people are like, find out you speak a different language. And they're like, say something in that language. And you're like I don't know. Like, like I just feel like it's like the weirdest, like the whole, which I know you didn't mean it quite like that, but like it is just being like, recommend me a book. It's like, even my like closest, like I can only really recommend a book to like a close friend that like I definitely know what they like. Like even my family, it's hard to recommend books to, honestly. Are you regretting reducing your TBR down so much now that you're stuck at home? No. I still have like 32 books on my TBR, and I have like a number of books on my Kindle. So I have plenty to read. Like I'm still, if I was down to like 2 books, then like maybe, but even so, like you can still order books off Amazon. Like I'm fine. Like having a small TBR is still a goal and totally fine for me. I'm actually like silver lining, not quite silver lining because I fucking hate that when used for like medical things, but like a flip side, I don't know. All of that sounds good, bad. You know what I mean? It is kind of like, okay, I could really make a dent in my TBR, but I'm also like not, these last couple of days, I've just been like scrolling through social media, checking news all the time. So I need to like stop doing that, stop watching dumb TV with my mom because she watches so much stupid TV, and start either watching my shows on Netflix, because I have a whole bunch of shows that I want to watch on Netflix, and or reading. That's what I have to start doing. I mean, I've been reading this whole time, but like at the level that I could be reading, I'm not. Yeah, someone asked if I'm having trouble with my attention span, and obviously yes. Obviously yes. So yeah, it's been hard to like read for the last couple of days, but I think that'll even out a bit. The Bachelor is bomb. Man, I watched like probably 4 episodes of The Bachelor with my mom, and I hate it. I hate it so much. And apparently the season was bad, but like it's so bad. I'm more like intrigued about watching The Bachelorette. And I would totally watch Love Island. Someone asked about Love Island. I would totally watch Love Island. I'm more okay with shows where like there's a bunch of people that get to date, rather than like there's one person that they're all trying to date, and that person is like, I'm in love with 4 people at once, and I'm like, you're not polyamorous though. And like I don't love it. Especially when it's like a bunch of women trying to date one man. Like that just like makes me a little nauseated. But The Bachelorette, I'm like, I'm more okay with, because it flips some traditional things around a bit. And then they're gonna start a new like Bachelor. It's like a singing Bachelor. So there's a bunch of them. There's guys and girls because they're all hetero. And they're all gonna like sing together. So I like that idea. Any advice for how to deal with reading anxiety? What kind of reading anxiety? Like you're pressuring yourself to read more, you are anxious about certain types of books, like what kind of reading anxiety? What are you playing? I'm still playing through Mass Effect 3 for like the 4th time. Yeah, like I want to finish that. I'm not even close to being done, to be honest. Well, no, I am. I have like Thessia. I have like 4 main missions left, I think. And then I'll be playing probably Assassin's Creed Odyssey after that. After I finish. Although I'm kind of like, okay, yes, I have read Lore Olympus. I'm caught up. You're post Morden then, yeah. I'm far past Morden at this point. I still need to do the Citadel side mission though. Again, I played Mass Effect 3 like 5 times, so like I know exactly where I am and what I'm doing. So with people that have played Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since Syndicate. should I play Assassin's Creed Origins first before playing Odyssey? Because I've played, like, up until Syndicate, I played every single Assassin's Creed game. Like, every single one. So I'm kind of feeling weird that, like, I haven't played, like, Origins, which is the Egyptian one, right? So I kind of want to play that one because I always wanted an Egyptian one. Okay. But should I, though? I don't know. Someone asked what makeup palette I'm using. I'm using the Kat Von D, well, now it's called KVD Vegan Beauty, blah, 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 matte metal palette. This is a palette I've had since way before she turned into a trash can. Well, she was always kind of a trash can, but we, like, didn't quite know. Whatever. So this is a really old palette. But now that company is owned by different people. Well, it's owned by the same umbrella company, but Kat Von D is no longer a part of it. So if you want to buy Kat Von D products again and not support her, you can, because she's no longer a part of it. She doesn't get any proceeds from the company anymore. Just so you know. But this palette's really good. It was limited edition though. Like it's been gone for quite some time. See, I kind of feel like I want to play Origins first, man, because I don't want to go back. You know? How are you settling back in Illinois? Good. Any progress on the job apartment hunt, or is that on hold? It's kind of on hold. So I'm not apartment hunting until I get a job, and I can't get a job until I switch my license over to an Illinois license. And I applied for that, but it can take up to 6 weeks, and we're probably like a little over halfway. No, I'm probably like a month into that. So it could be by like April that they'll approve me to take the test for the license here. It's such a pain in the ass. And then I can take the test, which I don't know how that's going to happen with this whole thing, because you have to congregate in a public place. So I don't know if they're holding off on tests. I have no idea. And then once you take the test, you get your license automatically and you can print it off. So then I can job hunt, as complicated as that is. And then I would be apartment hunting near wherever I got a job. So yeah, this whole thing may definitely be delaying things. Have you ever thought of doing a video pairing makeup looks with book covers? Definitely. Now's probably a good time to do something like that, because it's time intensive, man. It's so time intensive. Are you still experiencing troubles with reading fantasy books? Not so much. A little. Like, there's still some books that I'm really not gonna try to read anytime soon, but it's getting better. I'm sort of doing like an exposure therapy thing. So someone asked about a Mistborn TV show and who I'd cast. I'm horrible at fan casting people, so I have no idea. And I really I would almost want like not famous people, so I wouldn't even know like who an option would be, you know. So I have no clue. I trust whoever they decide to cast, because I am not a casting director, and I am not good. Like, I don't fan cast people at all. I just don't, which I've talked about a little bit before. It's just not one of my things. Actually, let's do this. Where are you? There we are. Okay. Actually, Charlie Hunnam for Kelsier would be good. I wouldn't mind that. He's a whole snack. Yeah, I don't tend to do my own fan casting, but I'll like agree with other people's. You know? Like, I see theirs and I'm like, oh, yeah. How's my reading this month so far? A mix. It's definitely like, I don't know, I feel like, how many books have I read so far this month? 3? Which is not great, but not bad. And then I feel like I'm gonna finish up. I feel like I'm gonna like finish up in like waves, like, because I'm reading Furyborn. I'm reading Chain of Gold. That's gonna take a while. I'm finishing up like a romance book today. Like, I have a lot of things that I'm gonna be finishing up in waves. So hopefully I'll get a lot of reading done. I want to shoot for, like, when I'm not working, like 8 books a month. Like, that's totally manageable. Are you planning on reading more Robin Hobb? Definitely. Yeah, I always got into Robin Hobb with the intent to read, like, the entire Realm of the Elderling series. I just don't own them right now. Story of my life. Okay. Now let's look head on. How are you finding Chain of Gold? Good. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Good. There's just a shit ton of characters. I actually made like a chart, like a genogram, if any of you are familiar with like social work and like stuff and how you connect people. Basically a genogram of everyone, how they're related, who likes who's parabatized with who, like all of it. Like who's the parents, because they're the parents from Infernal Devices, like a ton of stuff. So I could just keep everything straight. Are you excited for The Last of Us 2? I still have yet to play The Last of Us 1. I own it, but I haven't played it. So I'm not excited about it because I haven't played the first one. But is now a good time to play The Last of Us? Like, I just don't think so. Do you have a favorite online or free exercise videos while we all avoid the gym? I like yoga online, so Yoga with Adriene is top notch. I'm actually doing a like 30-day yoga challenge from her channel. She just did one for January, and I don't do it every day. But on the days that I would go to the gym, I do it. So I like it. Which is your favorite book in the Witchland series? I love them all, but probably Blood Witch. I don't know. Yoga with Adriene is the yoga channel. If you look up yoga, like yoga with, like she's one of the first ones that pops up. She's really popular. I love her. Okay, I think that's good. Witchlands is going to be like 6 books, I think. I think it's at least 6 books. So we have a long way to go. Someone asked something that I'd missed. What do you think of the new covers? Don't love them. Witchlands is higher end of YA. Like the Witchlands doesn't even need to be a YA. A lot of the characters they're like 19 and up. Like I think a lot of the characters are actually like 21 and up, to be honest. So it really should have been a adult series, but then they like made it YA, like whatever. So it's definitely upper YA. I actually think it's like YA adult crossover in my opinion. Someone said read the Witcher series. I'm not going to. I don't want to. I love the Witcher video games. And I liked the show. Like, the show was fun. So I plan on... I plan on... I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat, like, while I'm talking. I don't plan on reading the books. I don't really want to read the books. There's a lot of other worlds and fantasy books that I want to get into. So since I have so much Witcher content that I already interact with, I don't want to be... Basically, my 3 hobbies are video games, TV, and reading. I don't want to have one world take up all 3 hobbies. Like, I just don't. Isn't the Witcher series non-kid friendly? I don't know what you mean by non-kid friendly. I mean, it's not for kids, it's grimdark. But that's not the reason that I'm not reading it. I just don't really feel super compelled, like I said, to have one world take up all my 3 hobbies. Like, nah, thanks. I'm good. Plus, I love the video games the most. Like, honestly, if I had to pick one, I would just stick to the Witcher video games, to be completely fair. I did, like, read them if you want. I don't want to. Like, so, like, I'm not conflicted about it. I don't want to. I did start, like, years ago. Like, I think it was, like, 2015. I was starting the short stories on audio. But again, like, I would rather just stick to the games. Someone asked what I think of Yennefer. I love Yennefer. I have some, like, not problems with her, but the way things were handled in the show, I didn't love. Like, I love her in the game. Like, I love her in Witcher 3. I love her. I some of the stuff in the show was like, meh. Someone asked if they're the only person who didn't love the show. I liked the show, but I'm not like obsessed with the show. You know, like, it's not the new Game of Thrones by any means. I mean, look how that turned out. But like, it's fine. You know, like, I can watch it. I don't plan on rewatching the first season before the second season comes out. Like, I don't plan on being at a show that I like come back to a lot, but I'll like watch it through once. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. I have not read The Silvered Serpents yet. I'm sort of putting it off because I want to get closer to release date, so I don't have to wait like so long to have the next book. And I do want to reread The Gilded Wolves because it's been like a hot minute now. Like, it's been well over a year, so I want to remember everything. So I do plan on doing a reread of that. I'll probably do that closer to when my TBR is dwindling, because at that point it'll be maybe like spring, like late spring, summer, and then I'll probably reread The Gilded Wolves and read Silvered Serpents. That's my tentative plan. I'm taking a long ass time to do my makeup, but this is what happens. Are you planning on reading The Beautiful? Yes. I own it. I'll probably read it during the fall. So, have I read Wicked? Yeah, I've read Wicked Saints. I have a review up for it. I have Ruthless Gods. That's one I've put off because although I've been good with some fantasy, I don't know if I want to read like dark blood magic body horror right now. like so that one is one that's like I've wanted to do that, but like I don't know if I want to do that right now, just because that's a lot, you know, a lot. Yeah, I agree with the Yennefer in the show thing. I like the way that they handled her like disability, and I knew it was going to happen, obviously, but I just was like, oh, they're not going to do this well. The disability, the infertility, like a lot of that was just like, nah, I don't love how they're doing this like at all. So yeah. Someone asked who has the best writing in YA. Honestly, I think Susan Dennard is like real top notch. Laini Taylor, I don't love her execution sometimes. Her writing is beautiful, but I would say Susan Dennard is like the top for me with the YA writing. Marie Witkowski's really up there for me. Who else for YA? I really like Claire Legrand. Claire Legrand is up there. Just overall in writing. Leigh Bardugo is up there, but I have not forgiven her for King of Scars. So, like, I think her writing is really good, but, like, I do think that Susan Dennard's better. Don't tell her I said that. Don't tell Lee. No, I do think Susan Dennard overall is, like, probably my favorite. Susan Dennard, Claire Legrand, Marie Witkowski. Yeah. Have you read the other Susan Dennard books? No, because they're zombies and I don't much care. What are things you want to read once you get your TBR down? I want to read a lot of comics, catch up on some comics. That's a big plan for me. I want to continue with let me see. I did I think a video. Oh no, that was a video on the series I'm currently like wanting to catch up on. There are a ton of series that I do want to read. Like I want to continue the Great Coat series, continue the Robin Hobb stuff. I want to read the Inheritance trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. Catch up on all the Cosmere stuff. What else am I really wanting to read? Those are the big ones. Those are the big ones. Yeah, just like catch up on a lot of series, I feel like, or start things that I've been putting off. As far as the comics, I have 4 currently running comics that I really love. Well, some of them are done. Are any of them done? I think they're almost done. Anyway, but I have 4 that I started and haven't completed. So that's The Wicked and the Divine, Descender, Saga, and Monstrous. So those are the 4 I want to fully catch up on. Yeah, I think Wicked and the Divine and I want to say Descender are both done. Yep, Yujuseki and Descender. So yeah, but I'm not caught up with them at all. So I only read 2 volumes of Descender and 3 or 4 volumes of The Wicked and the Divine. And then I think I've read 5 volumes of Saga and 2 of Monsters. So I have like a lot to catch up on. So I want to do that. That would be very exciting. So I'm hoping that if I can just like blast through a lot of these books in my TBR, then I can catch up on a lot of stuff in the last half of the year. Are you looking for recs for comics? Not so much. Not until after I finish these. And then I do also want to read, I think it's called Die. I think. And then I'll probably be looking for recommendations on new stuff. Someone asked again if I'm going to read the new Sarah J. Maas. At some point eventually, probably, maybe. Not really super compelled. Okay. What am I doing next? This. I've read the Mistborn trilogy by Sanderson. Do you have a recommendation for which of his books to read next? I don't really necessarily have a recommendation, but what I did was Mistborn Era 1, Warbreaker, Elantris, Mistborn Era 2, and then I just started Stormlight. So that's what I did. He has on his website, because people have asked me since I started Stormlight, he has on his website like recommended like reading orders based on kind of what you want. That is Grandpa, who's home, that you definitely don't have to bark at. So Tally thinks she's a guard dog. Yeah, go on, bad dog with your bad butt. Ridiculous. If she's stuck in my room and feels like she can't greet someone at the door, she thinks they might be an intruder, so she barks at them. So, what was I saying? I hate when she does that. It like throws me off completely. Yeah, so he has recommended reading orders on his website depending on what your desire is. So I recommend those because people have been asking me ever since I read Stormlight. Let me go back and see what you guys said. Are you going to watch the Black Widow movie? Yes. I think that it's like way late in the game and I'm like still mad at them for doing her so dirty. But I will watch it. And I'll probably watch the new Marvels, but I probably won't be as like invested. Like I watched all the Marvel movies except the Ant-Man movies in the first like cycle. So I don't know how invested I'll be in all of them this time around. I don't know if you can hear my daddy just called her the official greeter. So funny. He might come in here. He's just talking to her. It's so funny. I have not read Hank Green's book. I'm not opposed to it, but it's not something that I plan to read necessarily. I don't have Disney Plus, so I'm not necessarily looking forward to any of them because like I wouldn't necessarily be able to watch them. I do love Wanda and Vision like a lot. So probably that one, but I like Loki too. Why no Ant-Man? I just didn't really care for it. Like I just didn't like I don't force myself to watch movies that I'm like not really that interested in. So I decided to just like not watch Ant-Man. And honestly, I don't feel like I missed much. I did watch, the only thing that I watched was like the end scene that whatever tied into Endgame so that I knew like where he was. But otherwise I'm like, I'm just fine with him like with the other Avengers and like I don't really want to watch like his solo stuff. Like I just don't care that much. So, do you think vampires and YA should come back fully? I'm always supportive of vampires, to be honest. So I think vampires should come back in all aspects of life. They really need to make a comeback. They're fun. How do you feel about the rise of Skywalker? Not great. It's okay. The last year was really about major franchises letting me down, so I wasn't really that shocked about it. But I'm like, wow, what a not cohesive trilogy. Like at all. Like what bad storytelling. Oh yeah, I went to a new nail salon and he was great. So I'm gonna keep going back to him for sure. No, they're acrylic. My real nails don't grow at all and just like chip and shred, and they're just bad. So acrylic is the only thing that I can really do. I'm very excited for the new Wonder Woman. I'm so excited. I'm probably more excited for Wonder Woman than I am for Black Widow. Favorite movies? Oh gosh, I couldn't even tell you all my favorite movies. I almost have to like do it by genre. Did you watch the Oscars? No. I am not like a huge film person, so I don't even know if I watched any of the nominees. Did I watch any of the nominees? I watched like 1 to 2 movies a year in theaters, and they're like usually Marvel movies. So, yeah, so I don't have opinions on like directors or like any, like I'm not very invested in movies. Like I said, of my hobbies, it's TV, video games, and reading. So it's like movies I don't like. I rarely watch movies. Like I really want to watch like Little Women. Someone just said Little Women. I really want to watch Little Women. And there's another movie that was out that I wanted to watch. Birds of Prey, but that's, another comic movie. So yeah, but I just don't watch a lot of movies. There you go. I was gonna say I just mentioned Birds of Prey. But yeah, just movies are not so much of my thing. Actually, I can do this without that. Witchland's book 4 title theory. It's gonna be Izult's book, but she did mention before that like some countries weren't letting her use the name that she like needed to. So I'm like, is it gonna be Thread Witch or Weaver Witch? But like, she can't use those. So it's gonna be something witch, but it's her book. So I don't know. I guess my theories are still Thread Witch or Weaver Witch, but she said before that they didn't let her use the name in another country, so I don't know. Currently on a post Night Circus high in the Rex. There's really nothing like the Night Circus. Probably read The Starless Sea or what book? The Golem and the Jinny by Helene Becker would be good. Have you read any other Renee Ahdieh? Yeah, I read The Flame and the Mist and like hated it. So I'm a little like, I think that's why I've put off The Beautiful for so long, because there's also gotten mixed reviews. But like, I loved The Wrath and the Dawn and I hated Flame and the Mist. So is it Flame and the Mist? I think it was. Surprised Celia wasn't on your favorite list of heroines. Do you have a favorite Night Circus character? So the thing about the Night Circus that like I don't love any one character in that because they're all like a completed whole. So like they're all the circus. You know what I mean? So like I don't take out one character as like, oh, I love them so much, because they're all a part of it. Trapped on a Desert Island, take Furyborn or Truthwitch? Probably Truthwitch. Because I loved Truthwitch on first read more than I loved Furyborn on first read, but they're still like both 4 and 5 stars. So like it's not that much of a distinction, but yeah, that would be my choice. Did you watch the BookTube SFF Awards shortlist announcement? I did. So I am not keeping up with it so much because so the reason that I didn't judge this year is because like I don't really have time to read the books that get on the short list that I don't want to read. So like in the past it was fine because the shortlist introduced me to a lot of new books, and I would probably want to read the shortlist in the future. But right now, since my major goal is to get my TBR down and read the books my TBR, like I don't want to be taking months of my reading time away to read books that I personally did not start out interested in. Like right now, it's triage, you know, like, and I like it. This is fun for me, but it's triage for like what I'm reading. Like I'm only bringing in books that I really want to read like as soon as possible. Like I'm only reading things that like I'm very, very interested in and very much anticipating, and not like, oh, this sounds fine, which is what I would do usually. Like I would usually be like, oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna read that. Where now I have to be like even more invested in it, if that makes any sense. So there's a lot of books on the short list that I don't want to read. So I'm glad that I'm not forced to read them right now, which is why I decided to not judge this year. Would I maybe judge in the future? Maybe. It kind of depends on like what my reading goals are. Because again, I just felt I got very bogged down by the BookTube SFF awards. It was just like a long it was a long award season, and it was just like a lot of reading pressure for things that I didn't necessarily want to read. It just didn't make it that fun. The first few years I did it was fun, and then towards the end it was just like really wearing me down. So that's why I didn't do it anymore. Someone asked when Top 5 Wednesday is coming back. Never. That was another very draining thing. I got so burnt out on like Top 5 Wednesday, which you guys would think that it wouldn't be like that hard. And it's not necessarily that hard, but it's basically I'm creating content ideas for other people. With Top 5 Wednesday, or I was, you know, like I haven't done Top 5 Wednesday in like over a year. So yeah, like it was just, I wanted to create my own content, but then you also had to create content that was my own, but that other people, like, it was just like very, like draining, as weird as that sounds. Like I would dread having to come up with topics towards the end, which is why I put it on hiatus to be like, okay, if I put it on hiatus and I miss it, I'll come back to it. But I put it on hiatus and was so relieved that I haven't thought about it until you like just brought it up. Like it's not coming back. I can't. But there's like years of topics. So if anyone ever wants to do a Top 5 Wednesday, you can always check out the Goodreads, which is still open, and like go backlist and do like years of topics. So okay, what else do I need to do? Eyebrows. Any new plans lately? Not yet. It's not quite spring yet, so I think towards the end of this month is when places will start stocking plants. But again, I'm not gonna like leave my house to go buy new plants. And I haven't ordered any plants online, so. But all but one of my plants made it through the winter, which is great. And a move. I think that plant only died because of the move too, which is exciting that like I kept everything alive. There. So what happens when you say shitty things in the chats is you get put in timeout where your stuff doesn't show up anymore. Isn't that nice? Are you excited for the Shadow and Bone show? Absolutely. So excited. Any releases for the year you're interested in? I did a video on like my most anticipated releases for the year. I feel like a lot of stuff came out in spring, so it's like I'm not thinking so much about what are the major ones for the rest of the year. Shorefall comes out like next month. That was one I was really excited about. Wow, I stumbled over that a lot. What else? I would check my phone, but you guys are on my phone, so I can't. What else? Owls this year. Okay, yeah. So I already did the like my owls thing. I think one of the videos I'm going to film today is my owls TBR, and I have like a ton of options basically because I picked like 3 careers I'm interested in and then put all the classes out for them. The problem is for me is that the Owls is always like a great reading month for me, and the Newts is a horrible, like August is always horrible reading month for me. This year it's going to be shit because I have so much to do. I have my birthday, I have BookNet Fest, like it's just going to be nuts. And I just don't tend to read a ton during the summer anyway. So I kind of know too that if I pick some stuff for the Owls readathon, that I could pick and do like a really hard career like for the Owls, but then by the time I get to the Newts and how hard the Newts are, I won't be able to achieve that career. So, new hero to the Owls and Newts readathons. Look them up on YouTube because she has a very expansive thing, but it's basically readathons that are themed around the Harry Potter Owls and Newts tests. And so she basically creates career paths, like wizarding career paths that you have to take tests for, and the prompts are based on the classes and stuff. So that's a really vague way to describe it, but it's a very, 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 very detailed readathon. So, yeah, so I have options for the Newts, or the Owls. The problem was, too, is that this Owls round, at least for the careers that I was picking, the prompts were kind of hard to match with stuff because they were a little bit more, like, vague. I also don't get books that I wouldn't read or that, like, I don't already own for the Owls, obviously, because I'm trying to get my TBR down. So, like, I'm not going to buy books to fit a prompt. I'm not going to get books from the library to fit a prompt. So yeah, kind of limits what I can do, really. When is BookNet Fest? It is the 20th and 21st of August. So, top 3 careers. I'm not going to tell you because there's a video coming up. Like, it's coming up. Like, but it'll be by the end of the month. Then you'll see the careers that I'm going to potentially go for depending on what I want to read. But I have one that is like 8 prompts, and then ones that's like 4 prompts with a side certificate that I might do, because she added certificates this time, and I'm like, I love you, but like, you're the most. And then one that has like 3. So, have you decided on if you want to grow your hair out? I talked about this at the beginning, but I'm going to basically grow a little bit of this longer and see if this fixes the problem. I'll probably post some pictures on Instagram. So if you've been following the journey on Instagram of me maybe wanting to grow my hair out, but not wanting to grow my hair out, like I don't want to go through the process of growing my hair out. I deeply don't. So I'm not going to grow my hair out until I'm invested in wanting to grow it out, and I'm not yet. And I might never be. So I found a solution potentially, and I will post the pictures from Pinterest on Instagram to show you guys what I'm thinking might solve it. I might also talk about it on Instagram too, because a lot of you guys have been asking, and I talked it through on here, but not all of you are probably watching this that watched the Instagram like meltdown. Not a meltdown, but you know what I mean. So I'll probably say like, here are my thoughts on what I think is the root of why I wanted to grow my hair out, but not really because I don't want to grow my hair out, and if I can solve it another way. I'm gonna put a lipstick on, but I kind of feel like I want to eat first. Plans to read Words of Radiance. Yes. I'm going to at some point, probably this year sometime. Just to let you know, I'm going to put on this lipstick, which is a brand I don't buy from anymore, but I still own this lipstick. So, favorite eyeshadow palette? Probably one I just used, the Kat Von D Metal Matte, which is a limited edition, but I haven't needed to buy eyeshadow palettes in years. I think that was the last eyeshadow palette I got, and I got it for a gift, and I think it was like 2016. Oh, maybe I got the Jaclyn Hill palette, who's also a trash can that I won't buy from. All these makeup brands that like make good shit, or at least made good shit, like I don't buy from anymore because like they all turn out to be trash cans. Yeah, so, but I also like the Naked palettes, but I use the Naked palettes every day, and I use the Kat Von D for like fun makeup. Okay, I should put lashes on, right? Yeah, let's do that, let's do that, let's do that. And throw these out. What is the thing with Jeffree Star? Oh, honey, just Google it. I can't provide that much education. Like, a long list of grievances there. Any authors you want to get into? Who have I not read that I want to get into? Nobody that I like. I can't really think of anybody that I haven't read yet that I want to get into. I just want to continue on with a lot of like people that I've read like maybe a couple of books by. But I don't know if I can think of anybody that like I haven't read anything by and I want to get into them. No, that's a hard question. I can't think of anybody. Are you? Y'all keep asking me the same question. I'll probably read Sarah J. Maas, like, eventually, maybe. I don't know. I do want to read City of Brass. So, yeah, S.A. Chakraborty. That's a good one. I do want to read that one. I don't plan on playing Anthem, because I don't like that style of gameplay. Did you ever declutter your Goodreads want to read shelf? Man, I have tried over the years, and that is so hard. So I have sort of, but like not really, because Goodreads makes it is not a functional website or app. Like, it's just so horrible. And so I'm just like, I don't even use Goodreads. Like, I never even go through my want to read. The only time I go through it's not even through my want to read. The only thing that I look at for Goodreads really is my most anticipated, and that is technically under want to read and then most anticipated that aren't yet released. Yeah, there should absolutely be a bulk tool. Like, it's just, their website is fucking garbage, but they're like, none of the alternatives are like better enough to make us move. Like, it's horrible. So I don't really utilize it for tracking things I want to read. Actually, my books that I most want to read are on my Amazon wish list. So now that Amazon's better, but I use Amazon wishlist to like categorize things that I want to read. I game on console. I game on PlayStation 4. I would love to have a PC, but the dauntingness of building one, which people that have one are like, it's not even that hard. And I'm like, listen, you don't know how much of a perfectionist I am. So yeah, it's challenging for me to want to play on PC. I want to for all those mods, man, but I probably never will. I don't know. I might. I need to meet someone that has a PC and that can help me build one. That's what I need. Like, I need someone in my day-to-day life that can help me. Do you track your book collection? Basically, I don't really need to because I have a TBR shelf, but I have my spreadsheet, my reading spreadsheet that I use. How do you decide which books you want to buy, read next? And has it changed since you had your TBR goal? I basically only get things that I'm like really, really excited for, and I don't try to bring, it's very vague, but like, I don't try to bring a lot of books in. It's almost like that like minimalist concept of like what sparks joy, like what only brings stuff in that you're like really wanting to read, you know what I mean? I use the Ardell Wispies, the Demi Wispies. They're my favorite. I wear them all the time. Like, in videos. I don't really wear them, like, outside of videos. I think I wore them to Connor's wedding. And that's it. I have not started God's Grave. I think God's Grave is at least one of my prompt options for the Owls, though. So, do you have any PS4 game recommendations? Yes. I love Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Assassin's Creed... Was Black Flag on PS4? It's been so long. I love Witcher 3. So those are my favorites, I would say, of the ones I've played. I played Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm going to say something controversial. I didn't love Horizon Zero Dawn. It's, like, pretty, but, like, the story is, like, kind of, like, boring and, like, really predictable. So, what career are you going for in the Owls? I will tell you in my video when I film it. Oh, yes, sorry, I apologize. Dragon Age Inquisition, abso-fucking-lutely, since I played it 3 times. Yeah, that's another good one. Obviously, oh my god. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, not liking it. I don't know, man. Like, I played it pretty far after it came out, and I think it was, like, so hyped that I expected it to be, like, amazing, and it wasn't. I also don't love, shooting a bow. Like, I'm not good at shooting a bow in games. So the fact that that was, like, what you had to do, and I'm, like, not very good at it, like, made it just, like, not very enjoyable. Like, the gameplay, like, I think a lot of people really liked the gameplay, and, like, I didn't quite. And then, like, it is visually beautiful, Horizon Zero Dawn. But, I didn't think the story was that good, man. Like, I don't, like, I found it very slow. I, like, knew, like, I predicted everything before it happened, and I was like, come on, because the story was still acting like it was a big surprise. And I'm like, I know what the reveals are, man. Like... Ugh, so I was just like, get to the point! What is your favorite playstyle in Mass Effect and Dragon Age? Mass Effect, I'm always a fucking Vanguard. I can't do anything but Vanguard. And, Dragon Age, I am a rogue. A dual-wielding rogue. So, Yeah, I love that. I do sometimes play as a mage. If I'm like when I do like multiple playthroughs, I will play Dragon Age first as a dual wielding rogue, and then usually as a like elemental lightning, heavy on the lightning mage. I love it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. Sorry, distracted putting on my lashes, so I wasn't checking for if you guys were talking to me. Who's more fabulous, Cardin or Nikolai? Nikolai for sure. Cardin's fine, but like I'm not obsessed with that series, so like I don't get the like extreme love, but like Nikolai is like top sass, peak sass, peak wit for like YA books. There are, I think, some wittier characters in other books, like adult series, but even so, why Nikolai could like hold his own. Is King of Scars good? It's fine. I had some issues with it. It's not like the worst book I've ever read, but okay. I'm almost about done, but I might still stay and talk to you guys. I don't know. Because now that I'm on here, I'm like, being social, it's so nice. What adult series do you recommend? I've definitely done a whole video on that, so I would recommend that. I don't say that to like not want to answer, but I just don't want to leave anything out. And I feel like if I answer on the fly, sometimes I like leave things out, and it's like that is a comprehensive video. You know what I mean? So everyone gets included up to the books I read at that time, obviously. But as I have more series that are adult that I like, I will definitely like add to those. It's not Pastel Goth. It's Metal Matte. Yeah, which was limited edition. I never got Pastel Goth because I'm not good with the pastels. They don't really look good on me. Yes, I am getting ready to record stuff. Although, like I said, I'm going to sit here and chill for a bit. But I'm going to record. I didn't ask me anything on Instagram about, ask me anything about being a booktuber. So if you guys want to ask some questions, go over there. But I already have a lot. So ask me anything. I don't think I'm filming any reviews. I'm caught up on my reviews. My Owls readathon TBR. And one other. I forget what it is, though. It's written down in my bullet journal. Thoughts on Outlander. I have not read the series, but I do plan on catching up on the show. I watched, like, the first half of the first season. I liked it for, like, a historical drama. But I haven't caught up. So, oops. Now I'm looking at my makeup and I'm like, should I just do a nude lip? I haven't. So I got really used to doing a nude lip when I was on Accutane because I had really dry lips, because that's what happens. So I got used to not doing bold lipsticks. What is your secondary Hogwarts house? Someone just asked me. Secondary Hogwarts house. I know you're Slytherin, but what house would you be if you weren't? Ravenclaw, probably. Although, like, Slytherin is so me. Yeah, so there's aspects of Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff that I think fit me, but there's other ones that are so opposite in there as well. But I think I would be more Ravenclaw because I'm also more of a questioner, and I feel like Ravenclaws are questioners. If you guys are familiar with the Four Tendencies by, what's her name? Gretchen? I forget what her name is. But look up the Four Tendencies. So, Someone asked me earlier about my Owl Crate books and like acquiring them. So even with Owl Crate, like I don't keep every Owl Crate book that I get. Like I don't keep Owl Crate books unless I make kind of exceptions for Owl Crate books sometimes where like if I didn't know something about it but it sounds like so up my alley when I get it, then I'll keep them. But typically speaking, like if I wasn't pumped about an Owl Crate book before I get the Owl Crate book, I don't keep it. Like, I mean, sometimes I'll keep them, but they're almost on like a second tier of my TBR where it's like, I'll think about it. And then if I don't hear more about it and like it moves up in my esteem for wanting to read it, then I get rid of it. So yeah, I don't keep anything in my life that I don't want to have around, like actively want. You know what I mean? I also feel that way about Gryffindor a little bit. Like I feel like maybe I'm not as familiar with like the Gryffindor traits. Because yeah, it doesn't seem like it's really clear besides like being brave. And it's like there's so many different kinds of bravery. I don't know. Like I feel like she didn't flesh that one out enough. Although she also didn't flesh out the other ones. Whatever. She's flawed. We've learned that over the years with JKR. Has your work been closed? I'm not working right now. So some of you know this, some of you don't, that I moved and I talked about this earlier, but basically I have to switch my social work license over to Illinois. So there's a bunch of paperwork and shit, which is fine and what I planned for when I moved. So like I moved and I'm like living off my emergency fund. And this was all in the plan. I knew it was going to be a couple months. So yeah, but I'm glad that I moved because my work has not closed down and they are being kind of stupid because I have some friends that still work there. They're being kind of dumb because we're in healthcare, it's hospice. And I get that people are like, death doesn't stop because of a pandemic, obviously. But they're still sending in non-essential staff. And a lot of people that are dying are obviously immunocompromised. So I feel like it's reckless. And they are, it's reckless and they're potentially speeding up people's deaths if if they start subjecting people to this. So yeah, it's shitty. And I know that they can't take the nurses out and that's like understandable, but they're like, well, people still need the social workers and the chaplains and the music therapists. And I'm like, yes, but you could stream virtually. Social workers especially could just like chat virtually with people and like do stuff in the background with like services and stuff. So I'm like, that's really dumb. And I'm actually thinking about writing because it wouldn't hurt me. I was actually thinking about writing our like CEO, because I don't work there anymore, and being kind of like, hey, I've heard that you're doing this. I think you should stop. And here, as somebody who does online stuff, are some options for how people could like do stuff remotely, because you don't need to be subjecting people to that. So yeah, I'm really glad that I moved because I would be in Delaware, alone, quarantined alone, still going to work, still potentially being subjected to illness because I worked in the hospital. So yeah, people can use Zoom, people can use Duo, people can use FaceTime, people can use Skype. Like there's no need to send social workers, chaplains, or music therapists into people's houses and into hospitals and into assisted living facilities and all that right now. And they're being fucking dumb. So yeah, glad that I'm not working there right now. And what made me do hospice, my main focus is oncology. That's what I'm going to be doing moving forward, but I wanted to learn about end of life. So I did hospice for a little over a year. I did live in Delaware for 7 years, 6 years. Yeah. So I don't love it. It was not fun for me. So at least I'm glad that like I'm back here because one of my biggest fears legitimately was I was going to die in Delaware. And so there being a pandemic, which I don't actually think that I'm going to die from this. But you never know. So I was like, I really don't want to be in a pandemic in Delaware, because that was one of my legitimate fears. That I was like, what if I get hit by a bus today in Delaware and I die? Like after I decided that I was going to move back here. Anxiety's great. Fine. I was going to film before my parents got home and now they're home. I'm looking for jobs just in like Chicago, Illinois. So yeah, like Chicagoland, like suburbs basically. I'm thinking I'll end up in Chicago with all the hospitals and stuff. But yeah, only there. I would maybe, I don't want to move to Minneapolis right now, but I could see myself living in Minneapolis in the future. But I also love Chicago a lot too, so I would just kind of rather stay in that area. What time is it? I don't even know. Oops. Because I was like, oh, I'm going to film before my parents get home, because I film in the basement right now. And it's harder when people are like walking around. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, you guys show timestamps. Shit, 3 o'clock. Damn. Yeah, so it's harder when there's a bunch of people home. And obviously the dog's barking and like chaos is ensuing, so. Yeah, I love Minneapolis. Like, I can see myself there in the future, but I think I want to be here for like at least a couple of years. I don't know. Like, if I ever didn't want to be here, I'd move to Minneapolis, but I feel like I'm probably going to want to be here for quite some time, so we'll see. But I want to visit Minneapolis a lot, though, because I have friends there and everything, so.
Well, that's what the balloons say on top of the one from Landscape Connection.
They're talking about something.
Because they knew I wasn't retiring. I was just going somewhere else. I don't know who, I don't know where either one came from.
I don't know. It was her last day at her current job, so she got flowers apparently. I should go though, so I can start. I could basically be like, "Hi parents, sit here." This is why I'm only gonna be here as long as I need to be. Obviously, like this whole situation might have elongated my time here, but you know, I don't plan on being here many months. I want to be here. I want to be gone in my own place again by summer. Which again, I came here with the intention of living off an emergency fund, living with my parents for like a short amount of time, getting a job, switching over my license, just because I was so deeply unhappy in Delaware that I was like, I have to get out of here, which I'm glad I did, based on current situations. So yeah, thanks for joining me though, guys. I do plan on doing these more, especially with like the, oh yeah, someone said emergency fund is in Dave Ramsey. Yes, but I have over 9 months of my living expenses saved up. So, and that was all my living expenses in Delaware. So really my emergency fund would last me like way longer living with my parents, where my funds, like my expenses are not as high. But yeah, so I saved up an emergency fund for crisis situations basically. But I do plan on doing more of these, maybe like once a week. I don't know. So because I know that everyone is pretty much, you know, distancing and whatever. So this is how we get through times like this. So yeah, but this will probably only stay accessible post live on Patreon. So just because of like not having a cluttered YouTube feed, it is an extra perk for patrons if they want to watch it after. So if you guys are interested in my Patreon, it's always linked in my videos. But yeah, so if anyone wants to watch this after, it will be on Patreon. So anyway, thanks guys for joining, and I'll see you later. Bye.